here at the Antlers, and I'm with adventure climber Colin O'Brady, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of his accomplishments, world records, no less. You completed the Grand Slam, and Colin, what does that mean in the climbing world?
So I just recently set the world record for the Explorers Grand Slam, which is to climb the tallest mountain on each of the 7 continents, as well as complete expeditions to both the North and South Pole, and I did that all in 139 days.
Yeah, and that basically beat the old record that was set in 2011 by, what, about 2 months?
Yeah, almost 2 months. So yeah, I beat it by a bit. Yeah.
Now, how did you do it? What sort of strategy did you take? And what did you learn maybe from what they did in 2011 and learn what to do and what not to do?
You know, a lot of planning went into this. My fiance Jen and I worked on planning this project for well over a year, so we had the logistics pretty dialed, but you had to be adaptable on the fly. One of the things we did was I climbed Mount Elbrus in Russia as a winter ascent, whereas previously the record had been done that mountain in the summer at the end. So that was able to kind of condense things and make it even quicker, but a little bit more challenging for sure with the winter ascent.
Well, and you're dealing with 2 hemispheres, a winter and a summer. So what was your route? What did you do first?
So I started in Antarctica in the Antarctic summer, so our winter. So I flew down there Christmas Day of last year, just about a year ago. I set off and reached the South Pole on January 11th, and that's when it all kicked off from there. So from there to tallest mountain in Antarctica, then on to Aconcagua in South America, and on from there.
Okay, and then the North and the South Pole, just to round it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was that like?
I mean, the poles are so much different than mountaineering. You know, I've done a lot of climbing throughout my life, but I've never done polar travel before. So to throw yourself into Antarctica, a place where the average temperature when I was there was about minus 40 degrees, is a pretty crazy experience, just dragging a sled day after day after day. It's not quite the same objective hazard that you'd find in the mountains, but just long days, super cold, really harsh in its own way. So that was incredibly challenging. And of course, the North Pole is, floating sea ice in the Arctic. So, you can literally fall through the ice into the ocean, big cracks and water. So it's just a really unique place.
Oh my gosh, but you had a drive behind this. You had a charity that you were working towards and raising money for. Tell us about this.
Yeah, one of the biggest focuses of this project, our project was called Beyond 7-2, the 7 peaks to 2 poles. Really a mission beyond that, which is to inspire the next generation of kids to get outside, move their bodies, be active. Childhood obesity is a rampant problem in our country, and, just inspiring kids to move their bodies, not necessarily to go climb Mount Everest or anything like that, but, even if you're living in cities or whatever, just get outside, go to a local park, move your bodies, eat healthy, that sort of stuff, because I believe that a foundation of healthy lifestyle really provides success in so many different ways.
Okay, and your background, you grew up in Portland, Oregon?
Yep, I'm a Portland, Oregon native, exactly. I've lived all over the world. I was raised a professional triathlete for a number of years before this, so I've kind of been pretty mobile, but Portland, Oregon's definitely home.
And he managed to get an economics degree from Yale while he was at it all, so very driven, very cool. All right, well, you're in town for the Unlimited Adventure series, and this is a great series put on by the Vail Symposium where we get to hear firsthand the stories that you great men and women do.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. It's definitely a huge honor to be invited to speak at the Vail Symposium. I love public speaking and sharing my story, but not so often I'm in like a mountaineering community where people really understand what goes into that. So it's specifically a really interesting forum for me to be able to speak at with a bunch of other, of course, mountaineering enthusiasts that call this place home and are visiting here.
Okay, all right, what's next for you?
Oh, that's the big question. Definitely a huge focus still on our charitable works. For example, in January, actually, I'm doing 15 elementary school speaking tour in the Denver public schools, continue to do a lot of work with that, and then definitely in the process of dreaming and planning for the next adventure. Haven't exactly announced it yet, but stay tuned.
Okay, follow Colin via all of his social media networks, as well as follow his website, beyond72.com.